what we've witnessed, what we've witnessed through games 1 and 2, is Carolina has been able to beat the Islanders at their own game. Now, Islander fans will point out it's in Barclays, doesn't count. The games still count. I know it's frustrating that these games are at Barclays. It's frustrating to watch on TV, to be completely honest. And I would imagine this game was very frustrating to Islanders fans for a lot of reasons. They haven't scored a goal yet. I know you're looking at the scoreboard going, yes, they did. Nah, actually, they kind of didn't. So, one thing that if you're a Carolina fan, you should be probably at least somewhat concerned with is, yes, this series is going in your favor, but it's starting to turn into the walking wounded with this team. I will get it together. Trevor Van Riemsdyk's injured in the first period, left shoulder, and from the way he was holding it, I would think at least a partial separation. It was a hit from Clutterbuck. It was a brutal hit. It was clean. It was a clean hit, but it looked like Van Riemsdyk was done, and we'll see whether or not Van Riemsdyk's good to go in the next game or if he needs to be out. I'm not thinking he'll be back in the next game. Officially, it's an upper body injury, but it's his shoulder. And then a power play takes place, and Barzell gets credit for a goal from Leon Eberle. But it's Slavin that puts the puck in the net. It's Slavin in front of his own net that deflects it. It goes really nicely over Mrazek into the net. It's a power play marker for the Islanders. But again, the goal was actually technically scored by Slavin, so technically the Islanders didn't score that goal. They just kind of made it happen. Second period, the Islanders were 2 men short, and I thought that was a key moment in the game, and they killed that penalty. And nicely as well. Some iffy misses by Carolina, but the Islanders kill that penalty. And then Mrazek gets hurt. Looks like it's a groin injury just from the way it took place and just from it just looked kind of strange. Something's wrong. He motions over. McElhinney gets ready and comes in because once Mrazek motions over, that means, yeah, I'm done. I'm done. That's it. My day is over. Mrazek is gone. And they didn't have a third goalie suited up that I saw, unless they suited him up before the third period. But that was interesting. So McElhinney's in. And the Islanders went in and they had some good chances on McElhinney early, but he wasn't giving anything up. And at the same time, the Canes weren't getting any space. Every time they would try to go through the middle, nope. Going around the outside, not really a whole lot of opportunities. So a lot of their shots, it felt like in that second period, weren't of the great variety. And the Islanders, it looked like were really in control. The Canes then confirmed a lower body injury for Mrazek, and no third goalie is what the announcer was saying. And it was mentioned in between periods that Nick Kypreos thinks it's silly that during playoff time, where games are so important, that you could have a scenario where two goalies could get hurt and you could have an accountant from the crowd playing as the goaltender instead. He's not wrong. And I'm sure between games 2 and 3, they'll call up probably Nedeljkovic, I'm thinking. I don't think it'll be Scott Darling to back up McElhinney. But there is something to be said for maybe NHL teams should be able to carry 3 goaltenders in the playoffs for playoff games for that very reason. At any rate, it doesn't matter. McElhinney didn't get hurt. And then there's a goal for the Islanders, but it's determined it's kicking motion by Taves. Now, Gary Galley felt the goal should have counted. I understood why it didn't. It is a kicking motion to kick the puck towards the net. Did I think he meant to kick it in the way he did? No, he's not playing soccer. Soccer play, sure, but again, he kicked it, so I can understand why it didn't count. There wasn't going to be a replay, it just didn't count. It was a nice kick, though. I put that up there, and that was with 13 seconds left in the second. And if that goal had counted, if he hadn't kicked it, and if it had gone in off his stick, it would have been 2-0 after 2, and you would have had a completely different game entering the third. But boy, did Carolina come out in that third period ready. Through the first 2 periods, look, the Islanders outshoot them 7-3 in the first, 13-9 in the second, outshot them 20-12 through the first 2 periods. This was their game. And they weren't going to be denied, and then the third period happens. First, it's Fogle with a beautiful shot off the right wing. As passes from Walmark. Menelanen also got an assist on that one at 17 seconds. Fast forward 48 seconds. Niederreiter scores on a beautiful deflection. Teravainen and Slavin with the assists there. Slavin up to 10 assists now in the playoffs. And unofficially 1 goal. At the 105 mark, all of a sudden Carolina's up 2-1. And there's silence in Barclays. And just bewilderment on the Islanders that they had this lead. This is why I hate 1-goal leads. This is why, as a fan during the playoffs, I absolutely detest a 1-goal lead because it's nothing. It can turn into a deficit just like that. And the Islanders were reeling after that second goal by Carolina. They were having a hard time getting it together. And honestly, in that third period, they did have a hard time really getting their game going. Now, at 9:11 of the third period, Hamilton gets a penalty for delay of game. Now, in the first, Hamilton got away with catching the puck and holding it onto it for a few minutes before, I should drop this. That's against the rules. You can't hold the puck with your glove. But while the Islanders saw it from the referee's angle, he couldn't see it, so he couldn't call it. But he didn't get away with that one. So Hamilton goes to the box, and the Islanders were buzzing on that power play. They hit the post. A lot of posts for the Islanders. These first 2 games are all about how many posts the Islanders can hit and how many passes Brock Nelson gets that he just can't put it into the net. Nelson has been absolutely snake bit. But then in the midst of all this, Saku Manalainen is out with an upper body injury. Not sure what's going on with him, but that's 3 Carolina players injured in the same game. That's insane. Then the New York Islanders take a timeout with 1:22 left. They delayed until after a second icing. After the first icing, thought process being Barry Trotz was probably waiting for Rod Brind'Amour to call the timeout. Brind'Amour thinking, now you can call it. I'll call one later. They hit a post at 1:05 left, did the New York Islanders. Yes, it's another post by the Islanders. Before Carolina takes a timeout with 34.1 seconds left in the game. So the Carolina Hurricanes take that timeout. They get the puck out, and they did what they had to do. The Carolina Hurricanes get the 2-1 win. They go up 2-0 in this series, and they were outshot the whole game. The Islanders outshot them 7-6 in the third. Final shots 27 for the Islanders, 18 for Carolina. Once Carolina gets that 2-1 lead, the whole game feels different. And you would think that the team that's up 2-1 in that third period was the team that had all the rest going into round 2. Carolina has now won, 6 of their last 7 playoff games? Remember, they were down 2-0 against the Washington Capitals. So they've won 6 out of 7. They've looked pretty good. Leonard, 16 saves on 18 shots. Mrazek saved 9 out of 10 before he came out. McElhinney, he's a hero again. 17 saves on 17 shots. And a darn fine mask for that Curtis McElhinney as well. It was a much slower game than the other one. That's the thing. A lot less prime scoring opportunities than the 1-0 overtime win a couple days ago. But man, Carolina has earned so much respect from me throughout these playoffs. 7-game series. They come out in the next one and they don't look like the team that's played the 7-game series at all. Carolina's now up 2-0 going home. If they can win both games at home, the Islanders have played their last home game in the playoffs. This has been an insane playoffs. I don't rule anything out. I don't rule out the Islanders winning this one in 6. But I don't rule out Carolina sweeping it because it's just been that unpredictable. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.